Bigfoot wooden footprint things to scare the hell out of some huckleberry pickers. And basically, he claims to be the originator of the Sasquatch mythos. And I've been working on some transcriptions of his audio, and I presented that to Chris Berkman tonight, and Chris is really thrilled by it. Chris is actually creating a Sasquatch museum in Boring, Oregon, and
oh my gosh,
yeah, that's going to be a huge thing.
Yeah, and by the way, you're talking about this Rant Mullins. When he was faking those Bigfoot footprints, what year was that? Do you remember when he actually started that whole
1930.
1930. I mean, my gosh, this is well before Patty and Roger and the Patterson Gimlin.
Well before Bigfoot was even a word.
Yes.
You know, like he was vibing off of Native American lore.
Oh, yeah. So in other words, it wasn't like he just came up with this idea himself. He's doing this pranking based upon a real First Nation native lore that have been in of course, the Gifford Pinchot National Forest is basically ground zero for that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. It's amazing. And it's really fun to kind of hear his macabre humor when he talks about how fun it was to prank these huckleberry pickers when they originally, made the tracks, to scare them. And it's a necessary piece of the Bigfoot cultural puzzle. And I'm really, really proud that Pacific North Weird gets to introduce this to the world for the first time.
Well, and now that you've got hooked up with Cliff Berkman, oh my gosh, who knows where this is going to go, let alone, I would imagine that it's going to be included in the Boring, Oregon, museum down there. That would be wonderful to see as well. You're going to have to give us a report from his museum at one point. Have him give you a tour, and that would be fun to hear about as well.
Absolutely, yeah. This is going to be a major event when we release this.
Yeah. Hey, well, I would love to see you get to Chris Novoselic a copy of Biggie Got Foot. I think he would freak out with what he's done with that, and it would probably give him a little bit of a chuckle, but probably he would be a fan of yours as well. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, I would like to approach Chris Novoselic and tell him that I like Bigfoot, but I cannot lie.
Exactly. Well, how's that gorgeous girlfriend of yours? Is she down there with you at the fest?
Oh, Sabrina is actually still up in Seattle.
Okay.
She's doing her own cool witchy stuff. And, unfortunately, she couldn't make it down here tonight. But she's always with me in spirit. And you also can also reach her at astralpalms.com. She is a very cunning astral healer. And, yeah, she's amazing.
Oh, she is. I enjoy talking with her when she's on the road with you. So tell her hi from me. And you enjoy the evening tonight. Of course, it's an early evening right now, so you're going to have a lot of fun with this band, Giants in the Trees, and probably hanging out with Bobo some more and Cliff Berkman and the rest of the gang there. If you ever see Ronald Moorhead while you're down there, say hi to him. He's a good buddy of mine. And I'm assuming he's around the area as well. And we will be talking to you another time next week, hopefully, when you are in a different location reporting on something else weird in the Pacific Northwest and the nation. Matter of fact, tell us again about Pacific North Weird and how people can catch you guys there.
Well, you can find Pacific North Weird at www.pacificnorthweird.com. And please subscribe and watch our Biggie Got Sent video. It's awesome.
And all the other wonderful videos that you've got on there, as well as the naked people from Venus, naked aliens.
The nudists from Venus.
Nudists.
Yeah.
I knew that there was a part.
Michael, may I talk about that for a moment?
Oh, go for it.
All right. So I recently filmed a bunch of nude people prancing around a flying saucer prop. And that's all for this Nudist from Venus video that I have been conceiving. But I recently learned or discovered with myself that this video actually has to be a short film. And what I'm actually going to do is cast someone to play Kenneth Arnold, who is interviewing Samuel Eaton Thompson, who is the witness of this Nudist from Venus thing. That's awesome right there. But also what's even more awesome is that Kenneth Arnold actually did interview Samuel Eaton Thompson. So I am actually creating a true-to-life recreation of this event.
Oh my goodness! Well, that people don't—they might think we're jousting here and jesting, but this is a real sighting report. And Kenneth Arnold was involved. Kenneth Arnold, of course, people who don't know, was the very first modern-day UFO sighting over Mount Rainier, flying in his own private airplane, and coined the term "flying saucer." I mean, this is
That's
about
right.
as big as you get. And Kenneth Arnold was
turning it into a short film.
Oh, that'll be incredible, buddy. You're getting bigger and bigger all the time, and wait till Bobo Fay hears about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen. Again, have fun out there. Enjoy it, and we will be watching and following your Facebook posts for the remainder of the weekend for sure.
Sounds great. Great to talk to you, Michael.
Okay. You too. Have a wonderful night.
You too.
Oh, my goodness. There it is, a Cowlitz County Sasquatch Festival with Cliff Barackman is there, Bobo Fay is there, Ron Moorhead, and all these different things that are going on. Oh, of course, my gosh, Giants in the Trees, the band with Chris Novoselic is there as well. So, if you want to check it out, you can always go to the internet and find out the what's going on at the Cowlitz County Sasquatch Festival. I think it's only a one-day event ending tonight. But now, we are going to get into the meat of the matter for the rest of the show. And I have an incredible guest on for the remainder of the show tonight that we're going to have a lot of fun reminiscing, I think, about his family and about an era in ufology that was basically when everything was wide. It was like the wild, wild west of ufology, let's call it that way, with George van-tassle and the 1950s era contactees in the desert at a place called Giant Rock. And we're going to bring on Chad Meek right now and see if we can start this trip out of into the desert with George van-tassle, his uncle, and all the things that went on there. Chad, are you on the line?
I am, Michael. I'm
wonderful.
On the line.
Well, thank you for holding through all that. By the way, gosh, you got to one of the good benefits of being a guest on is that you just get to hang on and listen to Peter Davenport's reports coming out from different parts of the country, and then you get to hear about the Pacific North weird news from Vince Inzunza there. Hey, by the way, before we get started, what did you think of that alien robot sighting in Federal Way, Washington on January 13th that Peter was talking about? Wasn't that fascinating?
I think it's plausible. I mean, in fact, I'm sitting here listening, which I'm actually glad I got to listen because there's two things. Number one, I had my own sighting driving from my home in Mexico up to Pismo Beach about 3 weeks ago. It was a silver disc, And I had my own. I have a lot of them down here, so it's not anything really new, and I never report. But I had my own sighting, and so I listened with great interest with people actually reporting them. I had a silver disc basically buzz a canyon I was driving through on the way. I crossed the border at a place called Tecate, which is a more favorable place to cross in Baja than of course the Tijuana or San Ysidro border crossing with all the mess. So it's a smaller, more quaint place, and I was driving down, and I was right through a canyon, and all of a sudden I see this silver disc rolling on through pretty fast, and actually made a 90-degree turn over another canyon. So of course in my Super Camry, I gunned it as fast as I could. I went 95 miles an hour trying to chase that thing down, which was a lesson in futility. It had actually disappeared. But that just happened less than 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
So I'm listening to Peter. I wanted to interrupt him and say, "Hey, I've got one to report." I was like, "Me too." But that was really intriguing to that. But I've had many down here. I've been down here for 7 years, so I've seen those. And that, of course, my whole entire life, I've actually been an observer and a witness to so many of these things. So it's really kind of interesting. And then here's something for the Sasquatch or the Bigfoot. This stems from Giant Rock. My cousin was married to a man named Daniel Boone. And he was he just recently passed a couple of years ago, and his whole life was spent in tracking Bigfoot. And he was always up through the Northwest, Oregon and Washington and all this stuff tracking Bigfoot. He was actually one of the more articulate persons that I'd ever heard on the whole subject of Bigfoot. So as I'm listening to these other guys, I had to almost mute myself because I didn't want to get in the way. I'm thinking, hey, wait a minute, I've got something to say on that one. I got something to say on that one. Anyways, so I wanted to clear that and get that out of my head before we start on the whole Giant Rock phenomenon.
Oh my God! Well, let's take those one at a time. First of all, because these are fascinating reports, fast breaking that you're giving us right off the bat. First of all, this silver disc that you're sighting down in Mexico, where you're living now.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the details of what you saw. If for instance, you maybe stuck your arm out, your thumb out, maybe at arm's length, and what would the size of this object be that you sighted?
It was a smaller. It was a 60. I would say about a 60-foot. Silver disc, and it didn't have the bubble top. It was more of a it was more oval, and It didn't have the bubble top of traditional silver disc, and it was just angling in, and it zoomed in really quick. And I say silver, and this is incidentally, this is daytime.
Right.
This is in the day. So I mean, I know what I was seeing, and of course, I'm a ufologist myself, and of course, you question everything as far as what you're looking at. So and at night, especially at night, it's easy to get confused with with satellites and all kinds of different things. So I always look at speed, and angle and rotation and all that stuff that goes into it. And but this thing came whizzing by, and it was as far as it was about 4,000 feet away from me. So it's fairly low, and it made a really weird turn. And again, it's a UFO. I don't know. I have no idea the origin of it. I mean, it could be one of ours, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the speed was extraordinary, and I was completely baffled. So at any rate, there's several canyons on the way to Tecate, as far as that, and it turned right and went over this canyon, and I, of course, I was going 95 miles an hour and really driving unsafe, trying to catch the thing, and I couldn't get it. It zoomed, disappeared. But as far as the, it like I said, it didn't have the bubble top. It was very, very, I don't know, I guess trying to